while here. It's a really interesting game. There's a lot to really like about it. There's a lot that I don't like as well, but there's more parts that I do enjoy and had a really good time going through even 2 or 3 times. This is the preview build. The full game will be out on March 17th, coincidentally my birthday, so I'm gonna kind of let this play without my thoughts.
For a living. That is to say that ever since he returned from Korea, after having served with the armed forces, he had been working as a private investigator in Montreal. William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home about. Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads. But that's how it had always been. The client pays, Carl gets it done. They had set up to meet at the general store, his client's business. Well, actually, the entire village had William Hamilton's name written all over it.
So folks in chat just want to let me know how everything's looking. It's tough for me to tell once we're in
muddy,
game.
or snowed in, it was customary
I got
around
it
these
over there on the
parts
left,
to close them off.
I'll never know what it's like for
But
you
it was also
folks on your
customary
end.
to
So just let
ignore
me know.
those signs
Especially with
entirely and
sound.
drive there anyway.
Because one of the big things with this game is that narrator, and he is fantastic. One of my
Hamilton
favorite
never
parts
mentioned
of the game.
a road blocking barrier. Why was it needed here in the back of Beyond? That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it. Still not a soul in sight. There was no point in waiting any longer. Carl had to figure this one out by himself.
This game has a lot of really neat contextual clues. A lot of stuff like this. If you're paying attention, it'll really give you hints as to what happens later on. But there's some stuff like at the top of the tower. You can actually inspect this flag.
Emperor Duplessis, in spite of his conservative agenda, did a good job in colonizing the rural north, which helped to reestablish the region as an integral part of the province of Quebec. The blue fleur-de-lis could be seen fluttering in the wind here and there, taunting the red Canadian flags on the other side of the province's boundaries.
I'm used to playing this with a controller, so you'll see me just kind of fidgeting with things.
Ever diligent in his work, always carried his log on him, in which he scribbled down thoughts and leads alike during the course of his investigations.
Press the F for flashlight. Crouch, jump. Okay. So, the game looks gorgeous, and I'm actually not running this game super optimized because I did make some changes to my machine. So this is gonna be kind of hazy looking, I think, for you guys. But the game just is gorgeous, fully full saturation on colors. The trees sway convincingly. Just wait till the snow effects start hitting in, because they're awesome to behold.
Hamilton no doubt knew who managed the barrier. Carl wanted to give him a call, but that would have been too easy though, as sure enough the line was acting up.
So we can for some reason it's not letting me click through the flyer here. It will be good. Page 1. Whoop. There we go. The province of Quebec sits on an inexhaustible abundance of natural resources. Why not take advantage of this? Our valuable minerals could travel the world and reach places as far as Dallas, USA. That's pretty far, actually. Get involved and invest now. Quebec's economic might will be awakened. The heart of the wilderness. The north is swarming with wolves, caribous, bears, partridges, foxes, snowy owls, and the hordes of other majestic creatures that are every bit the equals of Africa's wildlife. We are the Africa of America. Come discover the north and experience a genuine white jungle. It's not letting me, Oh, interesting. So the controls are a little different. The county of Manastan and its people wish to see you very soon. Great. Thanks, guys. Here's a little map of the area, which we do have.
Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business.
Getting our handy little truck here. And you heard me, I actually turned off the radio here. You can't interact with certain things in your truck.
William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests, not too far from here. The local populace was divided when it came to the affluent man. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. Others an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him. Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another. So far, only the industrialist's house had been a target, but soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man himself.
So right away, stuff in this town isn't good. We get into a car accident right away. Ain't fun. A few hours later. Poor Carl.
Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
I actually had, well, in the middle of a snowstorm, I had an accident once that was similar to this. Spun out and ended up in a ditch on the side of the road. It was not fun. Nice title card here. I love that font. For some reason, use that font. So you can investigate your truck here, which acts as an inventory, which is kind of cool. We're actually, I'm gonna check out this car first and see if there are any survivors.
The driver had taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance. Carl needed help.
Pick up this.
It was a small, locked box engraved with the letters W.
Yeah, let's read that. Yeah,
Carl
picture.
thought about taking it. Nothing was to be left to chance.
Huh.
Such heart-wrenching Nordic
Isabel, you
poetry
gave meaning to everything.
But
When
Carl
you
didn't
disappeared,
care
so
much
did
about
purity. I would
flowery
defend
language.
purity against the winds, the tides, against ice and the blizzard. Oof. Touching.
This deep in the
So
country,
part of this
his
game,
last
I'll
hope was
let
to
this guy
find an
finish his thoughts.
abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
So part of this game is an investigation in the style of Ethan Carter. If you played The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, you're going to find a lot of echoes in here of it. The other half is The Long Dark,
Complaining was not in Carl's nature. It would take
where
more
you
than
find
light
materials
injuries
to
to
start
interrupt his
fires. You
investigation.
know, you need matches, you need like tinder, you need logs,
Even
obviously.
better than he had hoped.
And then what you do is you start
Carl
a fire.
Faubert had
And
succeeded
it helps
once
warm
more,
you up. You can
and was now on
use this
his way
time
to new
to
adventures.
heal yourself, which I need to figure out how to do that. I don't remember the keyboard shortcut to do that. Because I'm used to playing with the controller. I might actually just switch to a controller. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. I'm just more used to doing it, folks, so give me a sec. There we go. Why isn't my controller connecting? Great, I don't want to fidget with this too much, so we'll continue on with the keyboard shortcuts. Let me just look at the controls real quick. Oh, this was the exact menu I was looking for. Great. Well, not exactly. Graphics. Let's actually turn this up a little bit. Button prompts, change keyboard controls. Jugs! Jugs McGee, what's up, my friend? That all looks fine. Read document, right. Okay. Damn, my controller. Yeah, apply these settings. So, once you get a fire started, you can then go back into your inventory and you can actually consume this medkit that we found, which is super handy. Great. Yeah, holding the hype for the Switch. I wish, man. I wish. I'm glad I didn't pre-order because I would be going nuts right now. But I'm really missing out. Got some chains. My New England skills tell me that I can use these chains for good, not for evil. I am gonna travel to the top of this tower, though. And this is actually a handy trick and why you should have chains on you if you're living in northern New England, Canada. If you drive a vehicle, carry some chains with you because you can use them to get some traction in the snow. A lot of hardware places will actually carry, I'm not sure what the actual term is, but like netted chains that you can either lay down or drape over your tires. Much the same way that we're gonna do now. Lay the chains. You can see he wraps his chains around the tires. Get in. We'll get ourselves out of the snowbank. You can see we're recovering a little bit. There are a bunch of stat things. It's not great. It's not a perfect system, but it's Siberia. Chains break you. Man, fuck Russia. I didn't realize I could say fuck Russia any louder than I have been the last few days, but actually, I don't think I've ever noticed that. Let's back right the hell up. Come on, Carl. We Tokyo drifts through the snow here. Be a little trailer here.
Now wasn't a good time to wander about. Hamilton.
I'll have to try to get back there at some point. Oh, no, wait, I won't. We're in this town. We gotta go find our employer, Hamilton. Hopefully he'll tell us a little bit more about what's going on. Kinda sucks we were in a car accident, but you know.
Spread out on a few acres of untouched forest, bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes.
This game would be a whole lot different if the driving was initial
D. It was
D.
said to have been populated for millennia by crew,
way better.
and ever since the industrial era.
Actually, I like this game a lot. I shouldn't talk bad about it. This game fucking rules in a lot of really cool ways.
The truck was running on fumes. Good thing that the general store was close by.
Yeah, good thing.
Carl's.
Whoop. Here's one of the problems. That's really tough to describe. It has loading screens while in the open world.
His meeting with Hamilton was out of the question.
La chance general store. The gas station.
The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood,
That's a
they had to
weird way
be
to fucking
switched
put
on
that.
from inside the store. A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh
Damn
milk
right.
indicated a recent visit.
Dead body. Dun dun dun.
Carl had no trouble recognizing his employer. He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out.
Oh man,
But
he
only
is
a
super dead.
detective
There's a
could
nice
have
big
noticed that the
handprint.
killer had to have been very close. That the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized.
Yeah, it's some Firewatch. I actually compared it more to The Long Dark. If you ever played that, it's a little bit closer to that than Firewatch. Great. So this in our journal, and you'll see this. It will actually update as we go. So, you know, it says like investigation, case of vandalism, the crash, cold mystery, and then Hamilton's murder. It just showed up. So we can, so as we flip through, it'll tell us little bits more and fill in these blank spaces. It's actually one of the coolest journals I've ever seen. But anyways, we'll keep going. What do I have? I have my flashlight. Let's take that out. We want this file. The envelope.
What could be inside that envelope? Carl was taken aback. He knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service.
A Canadian Secret Service? A crackerjack group that must be. Took an envelope. Tore that shit out. Killed him. Yo, this place is a mess. Actually, there is something we could do with the body, and we don't actually have to do this. And I'm not sure what the big change is, but you can.
Carl felt a chill down his spine and had a terrifying realization.
Cover the body.
If Hamilton was
Kind of
dead,
fun.
then who was going to pay him?
We gotta figure out who murdered this guy. Straight cold killer.
An explosion suddenly occurred outside.
Fucking hell, dude. Syrup boarding? Oh man, that'd be the best death ever. Cash register instructions. So open the cash register, punch the price, 2 numbers minimum, press sale, turn the crank 2 times. Punch the machine if this doesn't work. Even back in like the 50s, 60s. It stays the same. Read flyer. Not actually sure if I want to read this right now or if I, So, Quebec's Klondike. Northern Quebec's economy is booming. The north of Chibougamau, I think, area's population will soon reach 30,000 souls, among which thousands of happy families will be prospering thanks to the hard labor of their fathers, who will be contributing valiantly to expanding Quebec's national wealth. Mines and hydroelectricity, hunting and fishing, the true Canadian dream. Turn it into your reality now. The mines, a sector in full expansion. Did you know that since 1960, Canada tripled the amount of resource royalties it collects? Did you know that the country's true source of richness is lying under your very feet at this very moment? The building of our schools and our hospitals depends on minerals, exploiting our resources, the road to our future. County of Manastan and its people wish to see you very soon. Great. Alright, so let's figure out what went on outside.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears?
Was it about bears? Is this some Quebecan? Quebecois, my friend. They call themselves the Quebecois. Kinda. So we can actually, what's a hotkey for my camera? 4? Nope, 3.
The Polaroid, Carl's long-standing and faithful ally,
Take
has
pictures
seen
of
a
shit.
share of husbands caught red-handed
Nothing
cheating.
there.
There's always something
But
out there
here's
waiting
the
to be
coolest
snapped
part of this
away.
game. Honestly. This shit. Take a look here and examine the picture. So there is a supernatural element to this game, and it honestly is
Prince?
very, very interesting.
Carl found a surprise at every turn. Was the camera faulty, or was there a possible leak?
So we can follow those steps in a little bit. I want to take a look around out here first. We also need to start a fire because we're gonna start getting real cold soon. So this is kind of where the game falls apart, is in this survival stuff. Because fires will replenish your heat and your mental stability, that sort of thing. But you can only set them in places like this, in fireplaces, indoors, that sort of thing. There's generally always logs right outside, so as long as you've got matches and you've got the fire starting kit, you're all set and ready to go. And you only really need this one, and then there's one further down the pike for like the first half of this demo. There's really not much that you need. Like I'm hoping for the full release on the 17th, they do some more interesting things. I need the key for that. Been a few days since I played this game. Jumping. Yeah, it's kind of X-Files-y. When I say like Ethan Carter, if you played Ethan Carter, there's gonna be a lot of
Hate was
echoes
in
of
the
that.
air. Seems like some villagers barely tolerated each other.
Huh. Let it be known, you're nothing more than a brigand, a robber, a garbage hoarder, a viper, a leech, a monster. You're holding a knife at my throat. Too bad for me, but... It's written all in French. That Quebecois shit. Can we actually unlock this door now? No. Can't do that yet. We'll head back into the general store. We are not done with our investigation here. What I do like about this game is that it is open-ended. Like, we saw that weird painted trail in our picture. We could follow that trail and get to the next location, but if I just want to hang out here for a while, I can. Super neat. Duct tape. Sawdust, I guess. Ah, here we go. Garage key. Get customer credit.
According to that log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
Yeah, so you can see here that a lot of these people, they owe some shit. Some of these people owe a lot of shit. As a matter of fact, oh yeah, so yeah, you're gonna see a lot of echoes of that in this game. I'll probably get to that first real Ethan Cartery section. I forget the password. I think it's on 6. Yeah! Oh yeah! Opened it up. I got the post key.
The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone.
So a note
Carl
from
knew that Jim
Giles.
Deschamps was in charge of the general store. That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
So, you know what, Hamilton? I have a frog in my throat. When people have a frog in their throat, they do not take risks by going to work. Customers could catch it right. I'm a wise man. Not to worry. I will have a nice doctor's note, which I'm going out to get right now. Sadly, in the meantime, I will have to close down the shop. Unless you would like to come fill in for me. I wouldn't advise you. After all, you must know how it's done, since it's yours now. With kind regards, your dedicated manager, Giles. So Giles isn't here. He didn't come to work. That's kind of our next lead, because he appears to not like his boss. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna do it. So we're gonna go check out the garage. One of my ex-girlfriends, her grandmother used to call the garage the garage, and she meant it like genuinely, and it just has never left my lexicon. The first town that I lived in New Hampshire had kind of a general store like this where I got my mail, because I didn't have the apartment that I had was sitting on someone else's property, so I didn't have my own mail address, so I got a P.O. box to them at the general store. It was kind of neat. How rural I lived for a while. And the garage. Fuck. It's dark in here. I love these interiors. It's such, like, it's tough to do this kind of dark, and it's tough to describe how foreboding this is, but like, as someone who grew up in New England with some pretty severe winters, like this, the lighting in this room is perfect. It's hard for me to describe how perfect it is, other than just like, hey, it's blisteringly white outside and it's starting to filter through, but it makes the shadows that much more contrasted. Let's go through here. We can pick up some hardware. That one. Pliers. We're gonna need that. Yeah, it's not that bad out in the country. Turn on the radio. Turn on that radio, son. I missed living in an urban setting. I grew up in an urban setting.
Staring intently at the controls won't be enough to make that lift budge. The poor thing was out of power.
Oh, well. And so we got the pliers. Oh, I hate the doors in this game. Forget how bad they are. And it's not even really a complaint. That's something that they can just kind of brush up. But it's like, I have no idea if this is going to open in or out until I move away from the door. So let's open this box finally. Okay, so we got 2 fuses to the garage and the main store, which is the weirdest way to do that. And we need
The note explained that the garage and the
Great.
store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
we need to fix this. Great. Start her up. Yeah. Sick. Now. Yeah, there we go, generator. We just turned on power here, but we need to turn on the power to... Whoop. On. That's what we want. We want to turn it on to the garage. Actually, that first cabin I lived in New Hampshire, that was super nice. It was right on a lake. Gorgeous in the fall. Abysmal in the winter, though. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what. There we go. Get some light in here. Boxes. At least we know it's fragile. Get ourselves a crowbar.
At long last, the crowbar was within Carl's grasp. Surely it would come in handy at some point.
Oh boy, does it. Alright, so I think for now, we are all set. There's one last thing we gotta get to before we try to find Giles' house, because we want to find out what he was doing and why he didn't come into work today. Not that he's a suspect in Hamilton murder, but he might be. We also have to investigate those mysterious tracks. So we're gonna turn off power there, turn on power here. Great. And actually, I am gonna run with my inventory a little bit. I'd like to set my crowbar to 1. Map. You know what? Map can stay at 2. So can the camera and the flashlight. Okay. We're good there. Oh yeah. Is any winter worse than a New York City winter? I've been to New York City in the winter. I stayed there for a couple weeks with a friend. I was in Brooklyn, and that was nothing. Winter in New York City is a vacation. Fuck this music. So we did get the post key. We're gonna check out the mailbox.
Something fell to the bottom of the box.
Fell to the bottom of the box.
The murder weapon.
Fucking gun. Gun. The ultimate power. So while we're indoors, we'll switch that around. Why don't we put that on? Because I could always just come in here and put on the camera. So the camera isn't super necessary at this juncture. We'll go out the back because we want to investigate those steps. So we saw in the picture that we took of that weird blue ice thing, that these steps were running alongside the paw prints of the wolf. So we're just going to follow the wolf prints. Dude, gun is the ultimate superpower. This gun. Look at this gun. So we got another blue guy. Take that freaking picture. Ah. Look at those evil footsteps. That's
Carl was beginning
not
to know
quite
the
a
store
moose,
and its
probably a
surroundings
caribou
like the
of some
back
sort.
of his hand. The seeker had sought.
like, think of all the problems that could be solved if Batman just used a gun for like a single day.
Carl was used to strange phenomena, but a chunk of ice like this, as if an iceberg came out of the ground, that was a first.
That was a first. So we didn't actually have to take that picture. We do. Whoa, shit.
Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be. It looked like a man fossilized in ice.
It does look like a man fossilized in ice. And upon inspection, we go into Ethan
All
Carter
of a
mode.
sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world of dreams, a cold, unknown dimension. Somehow, self-control was slipping from his grasp.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit! Wolves went after him. We got a journal here.
To all appearances, this was a hunting log. Better yet, a war diary.
War diary. The beast enjoys long slumbers of the beast. We already got a name. Its sanctuary seems impregnable. Ice is everywhere. I need to exercise patience and wait for it to come out, to think like a hunter. The beast often invades the settlements bordering the lake. It terrorizes the white people. White people! They never see it coming, but they feel its presence. Cold dread grabbing at your innards. The beast excites the wolves, makes them more aggressive. One attacked me. I had to cut its throat. The blade digging into his flesh made the sound of a taut wire. Ugh, gross. The beast is getting closer to the villagers. It's moving at night, bringing heavy snow and a strong gust of wind along with it. I tracked it to no avail. I do not know the white man frozen in ice, but I do know this. It is the work of the beast. Its attacks curdle the blood of its victims. White men know nothing of this force of nature. I touched the ice imprisoning the white man. I saw things, but I do not understand them. So, Native American nonsense. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, for ruining the party. I mean, we had it coming, but... What do we get here?
What could these engraved numbers mean?
7, 3...
A fresh path suddenly appeared before Carl.
Fresh path. Run along the... There's a dude. Whoa! Dick dodge. Look at him go. You keep pace, buddy. Checking my controller. Wonder why my controller isn't working. Hope I don't have to reinstall that freaking driver. So we find a car. Car, dude. Open it up. Got Giles' wallet.
Carl had that feeling you get when you immerse your frozen hands in hot water. What happened? Now at least he knew who the unfortunate man petrified in ice was. Gilles Lachance, the general store's manager himself.
That whole adventure actually led us back here. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna explore a little bit.
Maybe
head
customary
back to
to
the
park
trail,
like that around these parts.
because that's
or
the
not.
general store right there. We're gonna follow this trail back, and we're gonna retrace our steps a little bit. We can actually see a bent rifle. No wolf could have done that. Oh, no wolf, eh? You can actually visit these locations in real time, which is kind of neat. And matches and fire starting equipment. And you can actually pick up this journal a second time, in case you need it. What's really neat is that in those dreamscapes, static items like the necklace that I picked up, they actually still exist, and you pick them up as if you were actually there. I think that's kind of neat. Almost like a safe way of exploration, you know? Yeah. So our map, kind of a Minecraft style map. It tells you where you are, and it says that I'm on the path to La Chance, which is where we want to go. Go see Gilles Lachance. And then I took out my gun in the middle of a loading screen. These aren't great. Those loading screens. I think that's an optimization thing. Cause it's not like it's loading in an entirely separate area. I mean, there is draw distance and stuff, so it's not like it's completely rendering it all separately. But oh shit, got another one. I actually can't physically get close to this one, but we do have another one right here. Let's investigate. Investigation. Yeah, nothing of note. And then I took out my gun. Just stock up on wood. Huh. Got a log. So let's get in there and let's start a fire. It's getting cold out here, son. It's getting cold. 15:55.
The air was freezing, right down to the bone.
Yeah, it sucks in here. Straight sucks, son. There we go. So, shit sucks in this house. Someone opened a window and woo-ha. So we assume that's Gilles Chance's wife. We assume. No way of knowing. But we'll rummage through her shit anyways. Line is cut. Yeah.
Looks like the holes in that puzzle are there to stay.
Oh, it's kind of sad, actually. What's Spanish? What did I say that was Spanish? Investigación? The same in French, I believe.
Ice had struck again. The woman's hopes
otherworldly
and
ice.
dreams were frozen
I want to investigate
in
this.
eternity. Carl felt a cool, tingling sensation in his back. Another vision took over him.
Yeah, it looks exactly like that cover art. Like everybody's the Statue of Liberty. Alright, let's follow the light source. In case you haven't done it and you do own Half-Life 2, check out Half-Life 2 with a developer commentary over it. It's really interesting. I should come back later. So you know, like, okay, like, that's something secret. Right up here. Oh.
The man grabbed his rifle. Carl felt a sense of dread in him.
Some shit was going down and he got his gun. There was nothing useful here. Oop. He was looking at this. Bertrand the Chance. Kinda? Does it confirm Half-Life 3? Yeah, the answer is sort of.
Perhaps their spousal relationship had been cooling down lately.
Dude, every spousal relationship is calming down.
It seemed like secrecy was commonplace in this house.
Ah, so everybody's hiding shit. Interesting. Giselle.
The scale was lifted, and he was back to reality. A reality in which Giselle, Jill's loving spouse, was motionless, frozen in ice.
Yeah, shit sucks. September. Mother once told me to pick the very best one, and why owe you that? Oh, shit. Mother once told me when I first met Gilles that I hadn't picked the brightest bulb of the lot, and as the years fly by, I'm seeing the truth of her words. Always trust your mother's wisdom. That's the best advice anyone can give you. My mother has been right about every single one of my ex-girlfriends. That blackmailing scheme is a prime example of Gilles' brightness. He's like a small dog. He thinks he's bigger than he actually is. He growls, generally thinks he's scary, but everyone knows he can be pushed aside with just a little kick. He truly believes he can blackmail Hamilton. The big boss himself. Big boss. What kept you waiting, huh? It's going to be a long time in hell before my poor Gilles can manage to pull off such a feat after all. Hamilton's a rich, learned, and influential man. Not only is that blackmailing idea bad to begin with, but let's be honest, Gilles is way out of his league. But Gilles doesn't even know that he's actually going to carry this out. I don't think he ever would. He's just throwing random threats out loud in the kitchen. He says he'll do it eventually, but I know better. Successful blackmailing requires masterful cunning, and Gilles is a master of nothing. He could be a master of lockpicking, we don't know. He is a slave, and forever will be. I often look at that safe he keeps hidden in the fake wall in which he stores all these incriminating documents he intends to use, and I just can't come to grips with the sheer ridiculousness of the whole thing. Sucks, huh? Paint stuff. Looks like they were repainting the whole house. Yeah, mothers know best, typically. Like, if you have a good, solid relationship with your mother, like, trust her words when she tells you to back off a chick or a dude or, you know, whatever your situation is. Got some painkillers. Nice. Meow, pure jasmine.
That window had seemingly been left open for a while, Carl thought.
Fucking
Given the
left open
punishing
for a
weather,
long
it
while. What's in
couldn't
the
have been
fridge?
intentional.
Some goddamn meat. Some steak, son. Got the safe here. I need to know how to open that safe. So let's look at the contextual
What a
clues.
mess. Clearly, there was some major revamping work underway here. The place looked barely habitable.
Gotta go for a
The
cigarette.
cross looked after a marriage's well-being.
I shouldn't
and
go out
served
and
as
buy
a
anything.
motivator to uphold the priest's sermons calling for more little worshippers
And
on one
Polaroid
hand,
film.
and cautioning against guilty pleasures on the other.
Where's my stethoscope?
Indeed,
Yeah, you get on that.
the Lachances were still part of the God-fearing generation. Beautiful portrait of Gilles and Giselle, bound
that's a nice
together by the chains of conventional love.
That's kind of sad, actually. Bound together by the chains of conventional love. (1948) Bertrand Lachance.
Ah, moving. What a pleasant activity. Of course, you'll find the record player only to find the records weeks later in some random box. Carl had seen that kind of safe before, with its double-layered security system blending letters and numbers.
Oh, wait. Oh,
its code
crap.
couldn't be broken by the common burglar.
Ah. Try B, and then, because he was in 48. Oh, shit. Wrong button. Conditional love. Conventional, I believe it was. Conventional love. Damn it. Alright, so I need more clues. Let's go back into that journal.
Looks like the holes in that puzzle are there to stay.
Journal. This gives us a little bit of everything. Crash. Yeah. Well, the vision told me that things weren't going so well between the Lachances. They were hiding many things from each other deep down. The woman diary spoke volumes about it, but even she reveals a secret. Even reveals the secrets within her husband's safe. Many secrets. Screams. Yeah. Da. Forget what the password is. What the hell? Documents. That's what I wanted. Giselle's. No. Giselle's diary. That's what I want. Oui. It is true that Hamilton would still have to figure out the combination of the safe, blah, 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 blah. Here, he has a trick to help him remember. His father's first initial followed by 3 numbers I had to engrave behind his pendant. That's what it was. It's the pendant. Completely forgot. Nope. Back. $739. Remember that for me, Jugs. Yeah. 739. Yay! There we go. Got some shit in here. Compromising file. William Hamilton is a crook. He has been blackmailing everyone in the village, myself included, like the infamous Serafin Poudlard. In this document is proof of every bribe paid by Hamilton to the federal authorities in regard to the acquisition of his damn mine. The fact that he has used his henchmen to instill terror within the village will not sway the tribunals down in Montreal. But the fact that he has been bribing government officials surely will. I can already picture it making the front page. The English are all the same. We will prevail. Written with different ink. Hamilton is not only a crook, but a murderer. I do not believe in his remorse. I firmly believe he will pay for his crime. I do not believe in native magic, but I do believe in their vengeance. Whoa, okay, so shit went down here. So So I believe we are actually all done with this house. Now, what we can do is, if you were paying attention to some of the notes that we've been picking up, that Gilles Lachance, he had been in contact with the local doctor. So we are gonna figure out where the doctor is. We are down here by Lachance. There's the general store, and then there's the doctor across the bridge. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna stop in and top off our car, because we do actually need to refuel our vehicle. I'm gonna get out my gun. We'll just head back the way we came. Heading on down to the woods, past the loading screens, past the loading screens, past the loading screens, yeah. There is what we assume to be poor Gilles. Had just a phenomenally rough day. There's our friendly neighborhood general store once again. All right, and we do need to actually top off our car, so let's do that. Bump 2. Turn that shit on. Gas. Get some motherfucking gas. Oh, good morning, Cat. Nice to see you. I know. I'm playing a game and you're upset about that.
Carl knew straight away where to find the infuriated Gilles
gas
Lachance.
can.
Any good investigation would have to...
So I'm gonna put some shit into my mobile depository here, because I don't need all of this stuff. I actually don't need the logs right now. Cigarettes are kind of nice.
Start there.
Alright, so let's go and visit our good doctor friend. We could actually pull out our map and text while we're driving. Hey, map. We won't get into a car accident. Oh shit. That was the worst. The car doesn't handle great. The car handles about the same as any vehicle in deadly premonition, unfortunately. Which is to say that it barely handles at all, but... Ah, hey. So you see I'm running up against the preview build wall over here on my right, denoted by large yellow markers. There are some serious boundaries in this game because we are still in early access and in a preview build. And essentially we have seen most of the content here. So as I approach this, I'm actually going to be turning the game off because I do not want to spoil this game anymore for anybody that might be checking out this video on demand. So, oh my god, that foreboding barrier wall. Let's go. Let's get right up to it. Let's go.
Great care had to be taken searching this place full of oddities. Everything was important. The decor itself told a story.
And I took out my gun.